Hare Krishna, can you hear me? I assume that you can
Yes,
hear me.
yes.
All right, fine. Right. Okay. This one. 1.1.1. Yeah. From here. There is the commentary. Okay, commentary, I'm keeping it separate. I'm having it in another screen actually. But there's something from the commentary which I wish to bring out. This is regarding sort of devotion service that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is gifting. So here, Etadrishim Bhaktim Kurotam Jananam, no, here. Sriman Nanda Vraja Jana Premavat Sarva Nirapekshaptaya Parama Mahattame Naiveti Nirdharyate. In this book, it will be shown that the sort of love that was exhibited by the residents of Vraja, the Goloka Vrindavan, the sort of love that was exhibited by Sriman Nanda Maharaj and so on, are most excellent. And in that sort of love, one is indifferent to everything other than Krishna. That's a very important concept which we will see in part 2 of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Okay. Since the possessor of such eternal youth just one minute. Move something. Since the possessor of such eternal youth, Sri Krishna, enjoys his private pastimes in the remote realm of Goloka, one might doubt whether contact with him is possible for souls conditioned by material nature. Is it not beyond the scope of good fortune for ordinary persons to hear about and understand the uniqueness of devotion to Krishna? Nanu idrisho Bhagavan Shri Krishna Chandro Vaikunthopari Shri Mad Goloka Viharati. This form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original form, Shri Krishna Chandra, he sports in Shri Mad Goloka, beyond Vaikuntha. Tasya cha parama durlabhatvat tadiya bhakti mahima varnadi mahaprasado yati dushprapa eva. And because it's very, very rare to attain Krishna, therefore, the great fortune of describing the glories of devotion service unto him and so on is extremely rare. Therefore, this is not a waste of time. Since this book attempts to make public the secret glories of Krishna, one might therefore ask whether writing such a book is not a hopeless endeavor. The author answers that doubt conclusively in this verse. Guna Madhuri Mahanam Darshayitum, in order to point out the sweetness of his features, Ado Parama Audharyamaha. So, first of all, the author describes the great munificence of Lord Shri Krishna. Before mentioning Shri Krishna's other unique qualities, he first refers to the Lord's exceptional generosity. Lord Krishna descended from Goloka to the earth 5,000 years ago to the district of Mathura to charitably give pure love for his own lotus feet. By thus appearing personally, the Lord made his special mercy readily obtainable. Although one may also correctly say that he descended to kill Kamsa and other evil kings, he has unlimited energies which could achieve such a minor purpose. Making pure love of God available by appearing himself was therefore his primary purpose, which no deputized person could have done it on his behalf. Queen Kunti therefore says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotion service into the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Sridhar Swami has paraphrased this prayer in his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. How can we women see you who have appeared as an avatar to make even self-satisfied saints take to devotional service by attracting them with your personal qualities? So from this we understand that Krishna appears to attract. To attract whom? To attract the Paramahamsas. Sanatana Goswami has first referred to Shri Krishna's magnanimity in this invocation verse. Now he continues to describe Shri Krishna's characteristics and how they contribute to his purpose of distributing pure love of God. The second half of the verse indicates the sweet charm of Krishna's pleasure pastimes, Leela Mathuri. Krishna is the darling of the young cowherd men of Braja, whose love for him never fails. By alluding to this love, the verse hints at the meaning of the exalted 10-syllable Gopala mantra, which will play an important role in the second part of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Well, as it is from Sanatana Goswami. Not only has the Lord freely distributed prema to many fortunate souls, but he always has great love for his devotees, beginning with the gopis of Vrindavan. Prema Gopishu Nityam. In general, Lord Krishna feels affinity for his devotees in response to the particular ways they love him. But because the love the gopis feel for him is completely unconditional, natural, unmotivated, and causeless, they have always been more dear to him than anyone else, and they always will be. This is also the reason why these gopis are also very unconditional in wanting to distribute Krishna's mercy. So when the Lord appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then you'll find that they all simply want to satisfy Lord Chaitanya's desire of distributing Krishna Prema. The gopis' unsurpassed spiritual status should therefore never be questioned. As shown by the word Nityam, eternally, he is never indifferent to the gopis or dissatisfied with them. Here's a summary. Okay. Sri Narada and other authoritative devotees will confirm this in their own words later in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita in the description of the glories of Goloka. This is actually part 2. Again, someone may doubt the possibility of ever understanding the Vrindavan gopis' love for Krishna. Indeed, as long as one's mind is even slightly affected by lust, anger, and greed, one cannot begin to appreciate the sublime purity of their love. Manasopya gocharatvat, the glory of their love, it cannot be fathomed by the mind. But by the powerful mercy of Krishna in his most recent appearance on earth, these impediments can be overcome with wonderful ease. Yasya Chaitanyahya Rupam Avataraha Tasmad Anubhavasya Sakshatkarasya Api Kimuta Jnanasya Padam Vyavasthita Vishayam Va Praptam. Now that the form known as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has descended, then it has become possible to attain direct experience, unmediated direct experience. What to speak of understanding of this pure love. Ayam arthaha. This is the point. Yadyapi Shri Chaitanya Deva Bhagavata Avatara Eva. Even though Shri Chaitanya Lord Sri Chaitanya. It's an incarnation of Bhagavan. Tathapi prema bhakti vishesha prakashanartham swayam avatirnatva, because he has descended in order to reveal the special prema bhakti that the gopis have. Tena tatartham swayam gopi bhavopi vyajyate. Then naturally one also understands the attitude of the gopis. Tad anurupena nirantaram udyata tasya Shri Krishna visheka prema visheshena tad visheka Shri Krishna prema adi tadrisha eva bodhyate. So in correspondence, naturally in accordance with that, we because that love constantly appears. Therefore, that love that they have towards Sri Krishna, as well as the nature of that love, all of that, the nature of that love, all of that is revealed. Evam tasya dina nicha janaika bandhor mahatmya visheshena adhunika nichairapi sarvair gopi vishekam bhagavad prema sakshadeva tad anubhutam iti. So because he is a friend of, he is the only friend of the most fallen and lowly persons. By dint of his special mercy, then even fallen people of today, all of them, they will be able to directly experience Bhagavad Prema, love of Godhead, that the gopis have. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Lord Krishna himself, he has decided to exhibit the true nature of Prema Bhakti. Thus he manifests in himself the ecstatic mood of the gopis, their ever-increasing love for Sri Krishna, which is reflected proportionately in Krishna's ever-expanding love for them. This revelation is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's priceless contribution to the world's welfare, by which he becomes the only real friend of the unhappy and degraded. He has thus allowed persons of our modern times to directly experience the mutual love of Krishna and the gopis. And those who can understand the gopis' perfect love can properly understand the super excellence of Lord Krishna. By mentioning these matters, Srila Sanatana is outlining the basic theme of his book. The first part of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita will pursue the question of where the Lord's mercy ultimately resides. Gopinameva Mahatmya Bhara Pratipadana Dwara Saparikarasya Tad Visheka Bhagavad Prema Visheshas Yaiva Nirupana Ityeshadik. So he indicates that ultimately the entire glory rests in his gopi consorts. So ultimately it is concluded in that manner. The conclusion is that the gopis are his most beloved devotees and that their love for him is the highest achievement of life. Evam anubhutatvat cha atra arabdham tad varnam na dushyakam. And because that has been directly experienced, that is now delineated now, and it is not difficult to delineate it. Nacha kinchit sandeha aspadamapi. There's not even a doubt that it is difficult to be achieved and so on. Since the author has personally experienced this truth, it will not be difficult for him to describe it for our benefit. There are no grounds for doubt. Shraddhaya sarvaihi Shri Vaishnava varaihi pakshamanam idam ashesham srotavyam iti bhava. Therefore, the exalted Vaishnavas, all of them should, with faith, hear the entirety of what will proceed. Therefore, Vaishnavas should hear everything in this book with full confidence. Shri Radhika Prabhutayo Nitaram Jayanti Gopyo Nitanta Bhagavat Priyata Prasiddha Yasam Haro Paramasaukrita Madhurinam Nirvaktamishadapi Jatu Nakopi Shakta. All glories above all to the gopis headed by Shri Radhika, who are famous as the Lord's dearmost devotees. No one can even begin to properly describe the charm of their supreme affection for Shri Hari. Shri Bhagavan Mahaprasada Pratistu Tadiya Priyatama Jananam Prasada Deva Bhavati. One can only attain the great mercy of Shri Bhagavan from the mercy of his dearmost associates. iti. Therefore, tesham ukta prakarakam eva paramotkarshamaha. Therefore, he points out that supreme excellence, as described, because one can achieve the favor of the personality of God only by pleasing his dearest devotees. This verse describes the supreme excellence of the gopis of Vrindavan. Among them, Sri Radhika is the best, and therefore her name is mentioned first. The gopi should be offered special honor, because although the Supreme Lord may sometimes lose interest in other devotees or become dissatisfied with them, he never becomes uninterested in the gopis. All pure devotees therefore acknowledge the supremacy of the gopis, pure devotion. The Lord himself tells the gopis, I'm not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. So sadhu krityam vibhudayu shapi vah. Ya ma bhajan durjarage shrinkhala samvrishya tad vah pratiyatu sadhuna. Your connection with me is beyond approach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. The gopis are famous as the dearmost devotees of the Lord. The deep affection with which Sri Krishna cherishes them is generally considered so clearly self-evident that the supremacy of their devotion is beyond any need to prove. Tathapi bhakti-ananda bharena tatreva hetum niruddishyati. Still an exuberant devotion for the gopis. Srila Sanatana Goswami mentions here that no one can describe even an atomic particle of the sweet, intimate love the gopis feel for the all-attractive Krishna. So wonderful is that reciprocation with him that Krishna himself does not have the words to describe it. Evam bhagavatas tasam cha anyonyam nitya prema vishesho darshitaha. So in this way he has pointed out the eternal special affection that the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his gopi consorts have for each other. Swadayita nijabhavam yo vibhavya swabhava sumadhuram avatirno bhakta rupena lobha jayati kanaka dhama Krishna chaitanya nama hararihayati vesha Shri Sachi Sunu Resha. Realizing that the ecstasy of his beloved devotees is even sweeter than his own, out of greed, the Lord descended to this world in the form of his own devotee. Dressed as a renunciant, golden in effulgence, he bears the name Shri Krishna Chaitanya. All glories to that Lord Hari, who has appeared as the son of Mother Shachi. The doubt raised in the first two verses might again be raised here. How then can you describe this love? Anticipating this question, Srila Sanatana Goswami replies that Sri Chaitanya Dev is the only deliverer of the most fallen and wretched souls. As the Supreme Spiritual Master, he has descended in his most attractive form to distribute the transcendental taste of Sankirtan, the congregation chanting of his own holy names. Srila Sanatana Goswami wants the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and therefore glorifies him in this verse. Nikhila Dina Hina Janaika Uddharakasya Nijanama Sankirtana Praya Bhakti Rasa Vistarakasya Sri Bhagavat Priyatama Avatarasya Parama Mahaguru Sri Chaitanya Devasya Prasada Praptaye Tasya Paramotkarshamaha. He wants the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya, who is the supreme great Guru and who is an incarnation as the Supreme Lord's own dearest devotee. He is spreading Bhakti Rasa, primarily containing the Sankirtana of his own holy names. He is focused on delivering all kinds of persons who are wretched, fallen. Greater than Lord Krishna's love for his devotees is the love his intimate devotees feel for him. Having noted that exceptional sweetness, the Lord wants to taste it. His eagerness drives him to assume the form of his own devoted servant. He then descends to earth in the province of Gaud and city of Navdeep as Shachi Devi's beloved son goes on the most beautiful golden form of Sri Krishna. Srila Sanatana Goswami uses the proximate noun Eshaha. This, where is that? एष इति साक्षात् अनुभूततां तदानीं तस्य वर्तमानतां च बोधयति. To indicate that Lord Chaitanya was present around the time this book was composed and that the author thus had the privilege of the Lord's personal association. He directly experienced the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya experiences what Krishna was unable to describe about the love of the gopis of Vrindavan, and furthermore reveals this experience to his followers. So this is Sri Gauranga Sundar, the most beautiful golden complexioned Lord. The Lord has higher regard for his devotees than himself. As he has said, Nirapeksham Munim Shantam Nirvairam Samadarsham Anuvrajamyaham Nityam Purye Tyangri Renu Vihi. With the dust of my devotees' lotus feet, I desire to purify the material worlds which are situated within me. Thus, I always follow in the footsteps of my pure devotees, who are peaceful, free from all personal desire, wrapped in thought of my pastimes, devoid of feelings of enmity, and of equal disposition everywhere. So, previously the Lord had stated this, but now he reveals much more clearly that the Lord thinks like this is vividly demonstrated by the avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tatha Purushlokavartin Nitram iti asyapi uktorthassu sangata. Therefore, he previously had stated that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had very beautifully described and demonstrated the love that he had. Pakshecha. There's a second meaning. Bhakta Rupena means in the form of his own devotee. But there's also a second poetically disguised meaning. When Lord Krishna descends from his eternal kingdom as Lord Chaitanya, one of the companions he brings is born as the son of Sri Kumar in an old Brahmin family of renowned spiritual masters from the southern province Karnataka. This is Sri Rupa Goswami, Bhakta Rupa, the devotee Rupa, the brother of Sri Sanatana. Pakshecha Bhakta Swapriya Bhritya Yav Rupa Karnataka Desha Vikhyata Viprakulacharya Sri Jagadguru Vamsha Jata Sri Kumaratmajaha Gaudan Deshiya Sri Rupanama Vaishnava Varaha Tena Saha. So he appears along with this exalted devotee named Sri Rupa. Tatascha Prasanga Samathyad Yativeshe Ityadi Visheshanavashad Bhakta Rupe Eva Atyarana Iti Bodhavya. In the more obvious literal sense, Bhakta Rupa means that Lord Chaitanya, taking the dress of a sannyasi, appears as a devotee of Krishna. In this role as a renounced mendicant, Sri Shachinandan disseminates the methods of relishing devotion to himself. He demonstrates the transcendental chanting of Krishna's names and how to worship and offer prayers to Krishna. By these activities, the otherwise inaccessible secrets of Prema Bhakti have been released throughout the world for the benefit of those who live in this spiritually fallen modern age. For instance, I'll just give a simple example. We know from the scripture that in Kali Yuga, you should chant the holy name of Lord Hari. The Vaishnava Sampradayas, all the four Vaishnava Sampradayas will talk about this. They'll tell you this. But what is the process of chanting? And what is the process by doing which one can attain the sort of love for Krishna that is glorified in Srimad Bhagavatam? These kind of things were actually revealed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are 10 offenses to the holy name. There is a process of chanting the holy name on numerical strength. All of these has been revealed. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has eloquently depicted Lord Chaitanya's merciful gift to the world. Kalan nashtam bhakti yogam jam yah pradushkartum Krishna Chaitanya nama avirbhutas tasya padara vinde gadham gadham yatam chitta vrinde. Let my consciousness, which is like a honey bee, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach the ancient system of devotion service rendered to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time. Jayati Mathura Devi Shrestha Purishu Manorama Paramadayita Kamsa Rater Janisthiti Ranjita Durita Haran Mukter Bhakter Pratipadanat Jagati Mahita Tat Parida Katastu Vidurataha. All glories to Goddess Mathura Devi, the best of holy cities. She enchants the mind. She is most dear to the enemy of Kamsa, and she is adorned with the Lord's birthplace. The city of Mathura is acclaimed throughout the world for dispelling misery and bestowing liberation and devotion, not to mention the various pastimes the Lord has played there. Sarveshta Siddhikari, Tadrigi Bhakti Praptistu, Bhagavata Shri Krishnasya Parama Prema Aspadatvam, Nirantara Krida Vishesha Manditatvacha, Bhagavatyam Shri Mathurayama Eva Sampadyate. How do you attain that kind of bhakti? That kind of bhakti for Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna being the greatest object of love. That can be attained only in Sri Mathura, the great sacred land, which is adorned by the unceasing special pastimes of the Lord. It is the shelter of supreme love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iti ashayena, with this in mind, tasyaha prasada labdhyet and mahatmyam stauti. In order to gain the favor of this land, he offers his prayer. Lord Shri Krishna has great affection for the holy land of Mathura because it is adorned with the sites of many of his favorite eternal pastimes. Mathura district is therefore the one place in the material universe where the perfection of all human endeavor, pure love of God, can be easily obtained. To gain the favor of Sri Mathura Devi, the author praises her in this verse. So this Mathura Mandal, its glories cannot be adequately described. If one wants to make rapid spiritual progress, then he can simply accept the instructions of Srila Rupa Goswami as his life and soul and shift physically to Mathura Mandal in order to engage in devotion service into Krishna's lotus feet under the guidance of spiritually like-minded devotees. The effect of residing in and serving an abode which is so dear to Krishna cannot be described. To gain the favor of Sri Mathura Devi, the author praises her in this verse. Devi means a ruling goddess or one who is perpetually effulgent, because Mathura has the Supreme Lord Krishna always present within her borders. She is untouched by fear from time and other causes of destruction. Thus, she is the best of the 7 principal holy cities: Kashi, Kanchi, Avanti, Mathura, Ayodhya, Mayapuri. Mayapuri is the name of Haridwar, and Dwaraka, which can each award liberation, as we learn from the authority of the Skanda Purana. Certainly, she is better than all the other cities throughout the universe, high and low, belonging to humans, demigods, and even the incarnations of God. Sri Mathura is supremely attractive and she pleases the mind of anyone who comes in contact with her. For she fulfills all categories of desires. Trivargada kaminam ya mumukshunam cha mokshata Bhakti chor bhaktita kastam mathuram ashrayat buddha. To those who have material desires, Mathura gives the three aims of human work, dharma, artha, kama. To those who want liberation, Mathura grants liberation, moksha. And to those rare souls who want pure devotion, Mathura gives pure devotion, prema. What intelligent person, therefore, would not take shelter of Mathura? Atayeva. For these reasons, Mathura is very dear to Sri Krishna. The enemy of the wicked king, Kamsa. She indeed has received Krishna's special favor. After Krishna killed Kamsa, the residents of Mathura hardly ever suffered fear or distress. Krishna's greatest favor to Mathura, however, is that he takes birth and resides within her precincts. Ateva Kamsaratereva Janiravirbhava Siddhishya Nitya Nivasa. It is also an eternal place where he lives. Mathura Bhagwan Yatra Nityam Sanitho Hari. Lord Hari is eternally present in Mathura. That's a Bhagavatam statement. Adorned with the Supreme Lord's birthplace and residence, Mathura dispels all misfortune and bestows both liberation and pure devotion. Super powerful. For this, she is glorified throughout the world. Jagati Mahita Pujita Sarvai. Amongst all those who are sufficiently enlightened about the reality of the world through Vedic knowledge. But the glory Mathura district gains when Lord Krishna exhibits his Rasa Leela and other intimate pastimes is beyond anyone's power to describe. Many Puranas confirm that Mathura frees from karmic misfortune those who come to her. Varaha Purana. Anyatra yat kritam papam tirtham asadya nashyati. Tirthetu yat kritam papam vajralepo bhavishyati. Mathurayam kritam papam mathurayam vinashyati. Esha puri mahapunya yatra papam tishtati. The reaction from a sin committed elsewhere can be dissolved when one visits a holy place of pilgrimage, whereas a sin committed at such a holy tirtha creates an irremovable diamond hard shell to cover the sinner. But the reaction from a sin committed in Mathura can be done away with in Mathura itself. Mathura is therefore the most auspicious of holy cities, where sinful reactions do not persist. Skandasya, Skanda Purana. Gyanato vapi. Yat papam sam upar. No, this is no, this is actually this is Varaha itself. Iti tatha gyanato vapi yat papam sam uparjitam. Uparjitam. That should be an A above. Dash above A. Sukritam dushkritam vapi mathurayam pranashyati. Whatever sinful reactions one may have accrued in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, are all destroyed in Mathura. Mathura refers to Mathura Mandala, entire area. Along with all one's pious and impious karma. Skandasya. And as stated in Skanda Purana. Kashyadipuryo yadinama santi. Tasam tu madhye mathuraiva dhanya. Ya janmam monjim vratam mrityadah nrinam chaturdha vidadhati moksham. Among the various holy cities like Kashi, Mathura is most auspicious because she bestows liberation upon human beings in 4 ways. In Mathura, they may attain liberation by birth, by vows of initiation, by death, or by cremation. Padmasya cha, in Padma Purana. Anyeshu punya kshetreshu muktireva mahaphalam. Muktai prarthya harer bhaktir mathurayam hi labhyate. In other holy places, liberation is the greatest reward one can achieve. But in Mathura, one can gain what is prayed for by the liberated, devotion service to Lord Hari. Srila Rupa Goswami is given a book called Mathura Mahatmya, the glories of Mathura, which is a compilation of scriptural statements about the glories of Mathura Mandal. Small book, but very beautiful, nice book. Jayati Jayati Vrinda Ranyametan Murare Priyatamam Ati Sadhu Swanta Vaikuntha Vasa Ramayati Sagada, Ramayati Sada Gahpalayan Yatra Gopi Swarita Madhura Venur Vardhayan Prema Rase. All glories to this place where we are living. Lord Murari's Vrindavan forest. He prefers residing here to residing in Vaikuntha or in the hearts of elevated saints. In Vrindavan, while always tending his cows, he gives pleasure to the gopis whose love for him in the mood of the rasa dance he increases by sweetly playing his flute. Sri Vrajabhumi, the most sacred part of Mathura district, is where the Supreme Personality of Godhead displays exceptionally sweet pastimes. He has already said that Sri Mathura is the most sacred place, but within Sri Mathura, Sri Vrajabhumi is the most sacred place. The 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam first mentions these three places where Krishna and Balaram move from Mahavan to avoid the dangers developing there. Vrindavanam, Govardhanam, Yamuna, Pulinanicha. Vikshyasi Dutama Priti Rama Madhava Yor Nripa. O King Parikshit, when Rama and Krishna saw Vrindavan, Govardhan, and the banks of the river Yamuna, they both enjoyed great pleasure. They enjoyed great pleasure just by seeing Vrindavan, Govardhan, and the banks of the river Yamuna. Since these three places are most dear to Krishna, Srila Sanatana Goswami praises them, beginning with Sri Vrindavan, in the hope of getting their mercy. Jayati. Jayati comes twice. Jayati is repeated in this verse to express the super excellence of Vrindavan and the great joy the author feels in glorifying Vrindavan. Again, the proximate pronoun is used, etat, this, to indicate that Srila Sanatana Goswami was living in Vrindavan forest while writing this book. Etaditi, Granthakarasya Tadanim Tatreva Vasam Bodhi. So the author was living there at the time. Atipriyatama, this dearmost. In Vrindavan, the Supreme displays a special beauty and loving mood he shows nowhere else. Therefore, the Lord's most expert devotees are more pleased by his presence in Vrindavan than by his presence in Vaikuntha or in the hearts of yogis. Krishna is eternally perceivable for his perfect devotees in Vrindavan, which is supremely attractive for them because of his unequal beauty and the endless flow of all attractive pastimes he displays there. No such overwhelming ecstatic experience is found in the heart of a yogi or in the official kingdom of God. Sometimes the personality of Godhead is present in his other abodes without showing himself, but never so in Vrindavan. As mentioned in regard to text 4, Lord Hari is always present in Mathura, Nityam Sannihito Hari. That is from Bhagavatam itself. But the word for present, Sannihita, can also be understood to mean hidden. In Mathura, the Lord, although present, may be hidden. In contrast, even after Krishna and Balaram transferred themselves to Mathura, the ladies of Mathura described the Lord's wandering throughout Vrajabhumi in the present tense, implying that he was still manifest there as he is now and always. For instance, here is a statement spoken by the ladies of Mathura. After Krishna has come to Mathura city, Punya Bata Vrajabhuvo Yaddayam Nrilinga Gudha Purana Purusho Vanachitra Malya Gah Palayan Sahabala Panayam Chavenum Vikridayan Chati Giritra Ramachit Angri. How pious are the tracts of land in Vraja. For there, the primeval personality of God, in disguising himself with human traits, wanders about enacting his many pastimes. His feet are worshipped by Lord Shiva and the goddess Rama, adorned with wonderfully variegated forest garlands. He vibrates his flute as he tends the cows in the company of Balaram. Everything here is in present tense. He wanders about. Anchati. His feet are worshipped. Okay. He vibrates his flute. Kvanayams. Chavenam. Kvanayam. Present tense. So this is this is despite the fact that Krishna has already come to Mathura city. So from this we understand that Krishna's presence in Vrajabhumi is constant. It is constant. As described by Srila Sanatana Goswami in the current verse, Krishna is always busy tending his cows in the Vrindavan forest. At the same time, he manages to keep the gopis headed by Sri Radhika immersed in complete happiness by always finding opportunities to engage with them in the rasa dance and other loving pastimes. When he plays his flute, whose charming sound attracts the entire universe, his outward purpose is to call the cows, but simultaneously awakens the gopis' anticipation of their later enjoyment with him. Certainly, his main purpose in playing his flute is to increase the gopis' ecstasy, since expanding the enjoyment of loving exchanges with devotees in this and other relationships is the ultimate reason for his appearance on earth. Herding cows and flirting with young girls are but means to this end. So the Supreme Lord, he simply is interested in sharing happiness with his most beloved associates. So this was about Vrindavan forest, Vrindavan. Then he's going to talk about Govardhan and the on banks of Yamuna. He's going to talk about Yamuna. Jayati Tarani Putri Dharmaraja Swasaya Kalayati Mathuraya Sakhyamatyeti Gangam Murahara Dayita Tat Pada Padma Prasutam Vahati Chamakarandam Nirapura Chalena. All glories to Sri Yamuna, the daughter of the sun god and sister of Yamaraj. She is beloved of Krishna. The killer of Mura, he has made friends with Mathura district and has exceeded the greatness of Ganga Devi. On the pretext of being a river, she carries the nectar flowing from Lord Shri Krishna's lotus feet. Tathaiva Shri Vrindavana Lankara Bhutaya Shri Yamunaya Aha. This Yamuna is she adorns Sri Vrindavan. Yamuna, the holiest of rivers, is the ornament of Sri Vrindavan. As the daughter of Vivaswan, the sun god, she has inherited the power to illuminate the world. That's the reason why he refers to her as the daughter of the sun god. As a sister of Yamaraj, the king of death, she is also the dispenser of perfect justice. Tracing an attractive winding path through Mathura district, she befriends that holy land on several sides. Mathura Mandale Sundara Gatililaya Bahuda Pravahanat. Because on several sides she flows. She is the greatest of all holy bathing sites, exceeding in sanctity the Ganga, as Lord Varaha describes in the Varaha Purana. Ganga Shataguna Prokta Mathure Mama Mandale Yamuna Vishruta Devi Natra Karyam Vicharana Tasya Shataguna Prokta Yatra Keshi Nipatita Esha Shataguna Prokta Yatra Ramito Harihi. 100 times more sacred than the Ganga, or goddess earth, is the Yamuna in my own abode Mathura. No one need doubt this. More sacred than Mathura by 100 times is the place on the Yamuna where the Keshi demon fell, and 100 times more sacred than that Keshi Tirtha is a spot nearby where Krishna rested after the demon was killed, Vishram Ghat. These places are still there. Kutaha, why is the river Yamuna so exceptional? Muraharasya Shri Krishnasya Dayita Gokule Madhupuryam Dwarakayam Api Vichitra Vikhara Aswadatva. because she is especially dear to Shri Krishna. She assists in his pastimes in Gokula, in Mathura, and even in Dwaraka. She originates from the lotus feet of Krishna. And so, on the pretext of carrying her current of water, she distributes the honey of intimate Krishna devotion, honey that has a rare, sweet taste. Anyone who somehow or other takes shelter of her is at once blessed with relief from material distress and nourished with spiritual satisfaction. So, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Yamuna Pulnani. So he is described Vrindavan and Yamuna. Now he is going to turn towards Govardhan. But here there is this expression. Ramayati Sada Gahpalayan Yatra Gopi. Here you see Gahpalayan. Straight taken from this Bhagavatam verse. Govardhano Jayati Shaila Kulati Rajo Yo Gopika Bhirudito Haridasa Varya Krishnena Shakra Makabhanga Kritar Chitto Yah Saptahamasya Karapadmat Tale Pyavatsit. All glories to Govardhan, the emperor of lordly mountains. The Lord's dear gopis called him the best servant of Hari, Lord Krishna. Antaya Madhiravala Haridasa Varya. Lord Krishna disrupted the sacrifice for worship of Indra to worship Govardhan instead, and then the hell resided for a week on the Lord's lotus palm. Tathaiva Shri Govardhanasyapi. Then he talks about Shri Govardhan. Although Shri Govardhan currently appears as a long, low hill, he is actually the greatest of mountains, surpassing in glory the Himalayas, Sumeru, and all other mighty ranges and peaks. Exceeding the power of any mere mountain, he serves Krishna in Krishna's personal abode in several intimate ways. He pleases Krishna so much that the gopis of Vraja have singled him out for praise. Hantaya mantri rabala haridasa vanyo yadrama Krishna charanas parsha pramoda manam tanoti sahago ganayostayor yat pani yasu yavasa kandara kandamulai. Of all the devotees, this Govardhan hill is the best. Oh friends, for Krishna and Balaram, along with their calves, cows, and cowherd friends, this hill supplies all necessities: caves, fruits, flowers, vegetables, water for drinking, and very soft grass. In this way, the hill offers respects to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, Govardhan hill appears very jubilant. Though the residents of Nanda Vraja means Vraja under the control of Nanda Maharaj, had arranged offerings for the annual sacrifice to Indra, Sri Krishna reciprocated with Giri Govardhan by diverting these offerings to the unprecedented Govardhan Puja, in which the residents of Vraja worshipped Govardhan, the cows, and the Brahmins by offering mountains of food and circumambulating Govardhan hill. When Indra felt insulted and tried to destroy Vrajabhumi with a terrible rainstorm, Krishna easily lifted Govardhan with his left hand and held Govardhan aloft for 7 days to protect his devotees. Thus he proved that Govardhan hill is greater than the king of heaven. Anena Sureshwaradapi Mahatmya Muktam. So the unique feature of this was that he lifted it just to protect his devotees for 7 days. This wonderful pastime is elaborately described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapters 24 through 27. Then he offers his respects to Krishna Prema. Jayati Jayati Krishna Prema Bhaktir Yadangrim Nikhila Nigama Tattvam Gudham Agyaya Mukti Bhajati Sharana Kama Vaishnavaistyajyamana Japayajana tapasya Nyasa Nishtham Vihaya. All glories to Shri Krishna Prema Bhakti. Knowing that the feet of Prema Bhakti secretly comprise all the truths of the Vedas, liberation herself has come to worship her. Indeed, liberation abandoned by the Vaishnavas has now given up her dependence on mantras, penance, sacrifice, and renunciation, and is eager to have the shelter of Prema Bhakti. Idanim Satchidananda Rupaya Shri Krishna Bhaktereva San Prasadaya Tad Utkarsham Varnayati. Now, the author describes the excellence of Shri Krishna Bhakti in order to achieve her good favor. Her very nature is Satchidananda. Sanatana Goswami now glorifies Bhakti Devi, personified devotion service to Shri Krishna, and begs her favor. Devotion service to Lord Krishna is always rendered with prema, pure love. In fact, in its essence, Bhakti is composed of prema. Shri Krishna premna prema yukta va bhakti. The lesser goal of life aimed at by impossibility, namely liberation from the cycle of birth and death, offers herself to Bhakti as a maidservant. Liberation humbly approaches Bhakti Devi's feet, unable even to look at her face. Charnaravindam ekam yad ekadesham kinchit ityarthaha muktir bhajati ashrayate. In other words, liberation follows even the partial practice of devotional service represented here by the feet of Bhakti Devi. Regardless of a person's motives, even briefly resorting to one of the standard devotional methods, hearing, chanting, and so on, very soon guarantees liberation from material existence. That is the point. And without some contact with devotional service, no other effort can earn liberation. So if one wants to become liberated from material existence, even if he has no desire to go to the spiritual worlds, but he simply wants to get out of material existence and wants to be in the in-between region known as Brahmajyoti, even then one has to render devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and only then will it be possible to attain mere liberation from material existence. Mukti, liberation personified, is eager to surrender to Bhakti Devi because Mukti realizes Bhakti's superiority. Bhakti is the essential teaching of the Vedic literature, all Vedic literature. Liberation therefore rejects the spiritual practices that persons in the 4 stages of Vedic cultural development use to try to attain her when they don't render Bhakti, when they do not engage in Hari Bhakti. Traditionally, young celibate students practice japa, the recitation of mantras. Householders perform ritual sacrifices. Retired forest dwellers, vanaprasthas, observe strict penances. And members of the renounced order of life vow never to re-enter family entanglement. But liberation refuses to submit herself even to those who correctly execute this principle and practices with complete sincerity. She makes herself easily available, however, to devotees of Krishna, even though they consider her unimportant and show her little respect. Vaishnavas, not only fully realized devotees, but also those who have merely received Vaishnava initiation, have the rare insight that liberation is not very valuable compared with devotional service. Liberation submits herself to the Vaishnavas as a humble servant, but they simply ignore her. This has been so in the past, continues to be so in the present, and will continue to be so in the future, as indicated in this verse by the present tense of the word Tyajyamana. She is constantly rejected by the Vaishnavas. Yadyapi evam Shri Krishna Bhakta evam Mukta Bhavanti Tyayatam. Even though we come to the conclusion that only devotees of Shri Krishna become liberated, Tathapi te tam atitukshatva na adriyante. Still, because she is very insignificant, they do not have any respect. They do not have any regard for her. Shri Vishnu Devata Kaihi. Yathakatanjit Grihita Vishnu Dikshakai Rapiti. This includes even persons who merely took Vaishnava initiation and who accept Vishnu as their object of worship. Tajyamana, Swayam Dasi Vant Upastita Api. Even though she is like their maidservant, still they reject. उपेक्ष्यमाण त्यज्यमाण इति वर्तमाननिर्देशेन पूर्वमधुना पश्चादपि कालत्रयं भवति। तर्हि किमर्थं भक्त्यङ्घ्रिं भजते? Why then does liberation worship the feet of devotion service? Because she hankers for bhakti's shelter. Rejected by the Vaishnavas and having nowhere else to go, she is anxious for refuge, fearful she might perish. Ananya gatikatve nashrayamatam icchanti. He has no other shelter. For those who have made even a casual attempt to surrender to Krishna, liberation readily offers herself. But to the foolish materialists who strive to achieve liberation, she shows no favor. She will not even turn her glance toward them. Thus, their chanting, sacrifices, austerities, and renunciation are useless for gaining her. Persons who strive for liberation by these means alone, neglecting devotional service, are most unfortunate, for they have failed to understand the essential truth of the Vedic scriptures. Amnaya Bhyasanam Maranya Ruditam. This is well known, even in other Vaishnava lines, they know this. It is very Amnayabhyasananyaranyavritam Vedavrtanyanyvaham Medascheda Phalani Purta Vidaya Sarvam Hutam Bhasmani Tirthanam Avagahanani cha Gajasnanam Vinayat Pada Dvandwaram Bhurkhas Samspritim Vijayate Devasa Narayana. All glories to Lord Narayana. Without remembrance of his lotus feet, recitation of scriptures merely crying in the wilderness, the regular observance of severe vows enjoined in the Vedas is no more than a way to lose weight. Execution of prescribed pious duties is like pouring oblations onto ashes, and bathing at various holy sites is no better than an elephant's bath. But if it is mixed with 9 types of devotional service, which force you to remember the Lord's lotus feet, then they are useful. So that has been recognized. From in Bhagavatam, we understand very clearly. If you don't engage in devotional service, you go nowhere. You go nowhere. 11th canto, Bhagavatam. Let me trace out that also. And this Lord Chaitanya also quotes that. येषां पुरुषं साक्षात् आत्मप्रभवमीश्वरं न भजन्त्यव जानन्ति स्थानाद्रष्टा पतन्त्यधः. Any members of the 4 varnas and 4 ashramas who fail to worship the personality of Godhead, the source of their own creation, or who intentionally disrespect him, will fall down from their position into a hellish state of life. Notice this. This is just plain description of the members of the 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. If they fail to engage in devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, who is the source of their own creation, or if they disrespect. So there are 2 options. In either case, they will fall down from their position into a hellish state of life. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has stated, Chari Varnashrami Jadi Krishna Nahi Bhaje Swakarma Korite Se Raurave Kori Maje. The followers of the Varnashram institution accept the regulative principles of the 4 social orders and 4 spiritual orders. However, if one carries out the regulative principles of these orders but does not render transcendental service to Krishna, he falls into a hellish condition of material life. Raurave Kori Maje. He becomes immersed, he falls down into a hellish condition. He becomes immersed in it. And then he quotes the same verse, 11th canto verse. Okay, this I will take it up in the next session. Let me just note it. Okay. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hari Babu. Yes.
Prabhuji,
Can you raise your hand?
yes, Prabhu.
Or is it Nitya Narsimha? Okay, all right, fine.
Prabhuji, somewhere we read about the Skanda Purana. So Skanda Purana, would you do more and means elaboration on the Skanda Purana, Prabhu?
One of the biggest Puranas. It has different cantos. There's one full canto devoted to Lord Vishnu. I think it's got more than 84,000 verses or something. I think 80,000 verses, something around that line.
So bigger than Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhu, means slokas?
Bhagavatam is an equivalent of only 18,000 verses.
And this
Padma Purana is more than 50,000 verses.
And this is from which yuga, Prabhu? Skanda Purana?
Which yuga means?
Means referring to like, but some of the slokas are covered in, means essence of all the Puranas is Srimad Bhagavatam, no, Prabhuji?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. And also the glory of Mathura is given, Prabhuji. So, so much it is glorified. That means what one should aspire to stay in Mathura. That's what is the author's mood, Prabhu, or what is that?
Sure. How important these are all. साधु संग नाम कीर्तन भागवत श्रवण मथुरा वा श्रीमूर्ति श्रद्धाय सेवा. One should associate with devotees, chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, reside at Mathura and worship the deity with faith and veneration. Sakal sadhana shrestha ei pancha anga Krishna prema janmai e pancher alpa sangha. These 5 limbs of devotional service are the best of all. Even a slight performance of these 5 awakens love for Krishna. Association with devotees, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, reading Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, residing in Mathura, the birthplace of Krishna, and worshipping the deity with great respect and veneration. Anganam Panchikasyasya Purva Likitasya Cha Nikila Shrestya Bodhaya Punarapyatta Shamsanam. The glorification of these 5 items, association with devotees, chanting the holy name, and so on, is to make known the complete superiority of these 5 practices of devotion service. Each of them is important of the last 5. Nama Sankirtanam Shri Man Mathura Mandali Sthiti. One should congregation chant the holy name of the Lord and reside in Vrindavan. Even Narottam Das Thakur has sung Shri Gaur Mandala Bhumi Jeva Jani Chintamani Par Hoy Braja Bhumi As. One who understands the transcendental nature of Navadvip and the surrounding area where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enacted his pastimes resides always in Vrindavan. Similarly, living in Jagannath Puri is as good as living in Vrindavan. The conclusion is that Navadvip Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham, and Vrindavan Dham are identical. However, if one goes to Mathura Mandal Bhumi, you can also include Navadvip Dham, Navadvip Mandal, or Kshetra Mandal. For sense gratification or to make a livelihood, he commits an offense and is condemned. Whoever does so must be penalized in the next life by becoming a hog or a monkey in Vrindavan Dham. You can read also Navadvip Mandal and Kshetra Mandal. After taking on such a body, the offender is liberated in the next life. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that residing in Vrindavan with a view to enjoy sense gratification surely leads the so-called devotee to a lower species. And in place of Vrindavan of Rajmandal, you can also read Kshetra Mandal, you can read Navadip Mandal. It is super powerful.
Prabhuji, like what you read now, a statement from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is very like it is alarming.
Truthful, very truthful.
Truthful, yeah. That means like we can correlate that what we read earlier, like the glory of Mathura. That means only the pure devotees can stay there, not the Karma Mishra Bhaktas should stay. Means for the sense gratification, we should not stay in Mathura. Correct, Prabhu?
Yeah, if you go with those motivations, then Krishna has a way of reforming. Krishna has his own way of reforming those who have taken shelter of the Dham.
So
And
when
it may
we
not be materially very pleasing.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhu. When we want, like, what should be the mood, Prabhu, when we want to take shelter of Dham? So, what should be the devotee's mood when we are, of course, we
When we
want
go to the Dham, let us go without a return ticket.
Yeah.
You can visit a Dham, or you can decide to settle in a Dham. These are two different things. One thing is, we should regularly visit the Holy Dham in order to take the mercy of the Holy Dham. That is one thing. But at a certain point in life, once you have decided to surrender, surrender means surrender, that's all.
Like we Sanatana Goswami is so much glorified about the Dhams, especially Mathura Dham, he glorified so much. But in that Navadip Dhama is not mentioned, Prabhuji.
Sanatana Goswami has to carry out Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to promote Vrajmandal. Aradhyo Bhagavan Prajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. Lord Chaitanya has to first of all explain this and the position of Lord Krishna. The purpose for which Lord Chaitanya came was to delineate the super excellence of Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's abode, Krishna's personal associates. So that has to be first of all understood. If that is not understood, then you will not understand anything about Navadip Mandal and so on. That is why for Navadip Mandal, he sent Bhaktivinoda Thakur with a similar agenda later. So there's a time for everything.
No, okay, Prabhuji, sometimes many devotees says that without the mercy of Gaur Nitai, we should, or without the mercy of Mayapur Dham, we should not go to Vrindavan. Like that.
So first go to Mayapur, attend Navadip Parikrama, then go to Vrajmandal.
Yeah, many devotees suggest that. That is the etiquette, Prabhuji.
That makes things very smooth. That makes things very smooth. But when we go to Vrindavan, also we want to carry out the instructions of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully. If you're not interested in fully carrying out Prabhupada's instructions, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's instructions, the instructions of Rupa Goswami, then what is the point of going to Vrajmandal? What is the point? What is the point? You go to Vrajmandal, you have no interest in carrying out Prabhupada's instructions on how to live in Vrindavan. He set up a center there. You can go there and you can participate. You can serve Krishna Balram in our temple there. And it is expected that we progress in our personal sadhana bhakti and so on. Krishna Balram will push you up automatically.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
It is a question of, see, there's also spiritual variety. You may choose to serve Radha Madhav in Mayapur. You may choose to serve Radheshyam in Vrindavan. But in any case, we have to be obedient to the instructions of Rupa Goswami. And there is spiritual variety, and Krishna may attract you in Vrindavan. That's okay. Or he may attract you in Navadip Mandal. That's also okay. Or Jagannath Puri. That's also okay. But as long as we are obedient to the general and specific instructions given by Prabhupada, then it's okay.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yeah.
Leelamai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, at the beginning of the class, you said that the Lord advents in the material world to attract the Paramahamsas. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Sorry?
You said the Lord advents, he comes, he does his pastimes to attract the Paramahamsas.
That's stated right in Bhagavatam.
So,
Yeah.
okay, I was just wondering, because the Paramahamsas already are so attracted to the Lord, isn't that true, Prabhu?
No, here the Paramahamsas, the Atmaramas. The Atmaramas, the ones who are
So
self-satisfied.
he comes to it.
Yeah, he comes mainly for them. Tatha Paramahamsanam, Muninam, Amalatmanam, Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham, Gatam Pashyam Histriya. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendent signs of devotion service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. So he comes to help the advanced transcendentalists or the great philosophers or mental speculators whose minds are competent to discern between spirit and matter, to help them execute the signs of devotion service. This is the reason why Krishna comes. Actually.
Okay, not to attract the other people, Prabhu, not the common.
Everyone, but they are the ones who are ready. You know, from Karma Yoga, you go to Jnana Yoga, and then you go to Bhakti Yoga.
Okay.
It's just like after you complete your schooling, you go to university. It's just step by step.
Okay. 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 Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Anything else? If there's nothing else, then we can. If there are further questions, you can ask me in Telegram. All right. Vaishnavam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namaha.